The information in this video is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Morale Monologue. My name is Michael Morale. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some exciting news with you regarding AveXis' new potential drug candidate called Zolgensma. We received some information the other day that we thought that everyone with SMA should know about, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. But before you watch the video and before I explain everything, please take a moment and listen to a word from our sponsor, and I'll be right back. Thank you.
This vlog was made possible by a sponsorship from AveXis, a clinical stage gene therapy company relentlessly focused on bringing gene therapy out of the lab and into the clinical setting for patients and families devastated by rare and life-threatening neurological genetic diseases. To understand how gene therapy is changing the way we see genetic diseases, check out exploregenetherapy.com, www.exploregenetherapy.com. Explore Gene Therapy is a resource for learning more about gene therapy, including its history and how it is being studied. Visit www.exploregenetherapy.com.
Okay, so I'm going to be showing you an article that was published on the SMA News Today website not too long ago, and it talks about AveXis' new potential drug candidate called Zolgensma. AveXis has asked the FDA to include some additional data that they received with regards to their clinical trials of the intrathecal or IT delivery of Zolgensma. Right now, Zolgensma is only going to be available to infants with type 1 that are 9 months of age or younger, and this is going to be delivered in an intravenous delivery. So they'll hook up an IV bag to these infants and deliver it directly into their vein. And with these little bodies, they can push enough drug where it gets past the blood-brain barrier and gets into the central nervous system. But some potential for us that are older with SMA types 2 and 3 is that AveXis has been working on an intrathecal delivery system. And they've had enough time between the time that they submitted their request to the FDA until now that they've actually received some pretty substantial and positive results from this IT delivery method. So they've asked the FDA to include this in the label if and when they approve Zolgensma. So I'm going to show you a little video regarding the article itself. And the article that I'm going to be reading from, I'll also put a link in the description of this video. So after you watch my video, you can go down to the description and click on the link and view the article for yourself. So watch the brief video that I did for you, and then I'll come back and I'll give you my personal opinions as to what I'm thinking about regarding this article. Thank you. Okay, so at the top of the document, it goes on to read, Type 2 patients with spinal muscular atrophy given the gene therapy Zolgensma via spinal canal injection are showing no safety concerns so far and notable motor milestones, early results of a phase 1 trial report. Based on these interim but promising data, AveXis anticipates a request being made for the therapy's approval using intrathecal or spinal cord injection, necessary for older SMA patients. In a press release, the company said that it and Novartis, which AveXis is now part of, will approach regulators for guidance. Then if you go down one more paragraph, it states, Zolgensma, an expected one-time treatment, is designed to deliver a healthy version of the SMN1 gene, faulty in people with SMA, to motor neurons, which are specialized cells controlling muscle contraction. It works to enable production of the SMN protein, whose low levels are associated with progressive loss of motor nerve cells. Then if you go down one more paragraph, it reads, in an interview with SMA News Today, AveXis President Dave Lennon said that although the applications accepted and taken under review by the FDA are for type 1 infants up to 9 months old, the company has presented the agency with data from all Zolgensma clinical trials, opening up the possibility of a broader label. However, Lennon added, it's premature to talk about the expectations and, should it be approved, ultimately the decision on the label is the FDA's. Okay, so regarding the video that you just saw talking about the article, let me explain why this is exciting news for those of us that are older with SMA types 2 and 3. In the first portion of the video, I talked about the blood-brain barrier, and that's the reason why they give Zolgensma through an IV delivery or an intravenous delivery to these infants. They can push enough drug through their little bodies so that it gets past the blood-brain barrier. But for those of us that are on Spinraza, we're receiving our treatments through an IT or an intrathecal delivery because they have to target the central nervous system. They can't push enough of the drug through our body to get past the blood-brain barrier. So AveXis has been working on an IT delivery for Zolgensma for those of us that are older. And by asking the FDA to broaden the label is basically what the FDA sets once the treatment is past FDA regulations to become a treatment. And so the label basically describes who can take the treatment. But AveXis has had enough time in these clinical trials with their IT delivery that they've presented more information, and they've asked the FDA to broaden their label to include type 2 children up to 5 years of age. So my personal opinion is that if this is going to be passed, and I truly think it will, then I think that Zolgensma may be available to those of us that are adults with SMA types 2 and 3 much sooner than first anticipated. We thought it may be by the end of this year, or maybe the middle portion, or even the end of 2020. But if they can broaden the label, and if the FDA agrees to it, those of us that are adults with types 2 and 3 SMA may be able to start our treatments with Zolgensma. Now, again, it's going to be the same process that we went through with regards to Biogen's drug, Spinraza. It's not going to be an immediate thing. We're going to have to go through the approval process. We're going to have to go through our insurance. So there's still a lot of questions that have to be answered. But I think these questions will be answered in the not-so-distant future. So my recommendation to you is to get on the phone and contact your doctor, either talk to him on the phone or maybe set up a face-to-face meeting and let him know that you're not only interested in Zolgensma, let him know that you're actually interested in maybe participating in getting started on this treatment if and when it gets passed by the FDA. You know, it's going to take a while. Like I said, this isn't going to be something that we start immediately, but we have time to talk to our doctors and make a well-educated decision as to what we want to do in the future. So again, this is exciting news for all of us, and we at SMA News Today will continue to bring you the latest information as soon as we get it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Morale Monologue. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the SMA News Today YouTube channel. We would greatly appreciate it. We at SMA News Today hope all of you have had a fantastic week. And until next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.